How one can turn their passion into the business, coming from a personal trainer who has opened up his personal training studio not that long ago. So, to go back, if you haven't watched my previous videos, I was talking how in 2016, before I even considered to become a personal trainer, I gone to the gym called Athlete Center in Oxford, which was a predominantly well, it was actually a CrossFit gym. It wasn't even a predominantly CrossFit gym. And I remember walking in there and looking around thinking, wow, this is something that I would like to open myself at some point, even though I haven't even considered personal training career at that point. So from then till now, what has happened? Well, it's quite simple. I was working in a warehouse, but I was always passionate about fitness. So I was personally playing, well, let me try to remember, basketball, table tennis, volleyball, badminton. I did Greek Roman wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai, mountain biking, now back to badminton. And probably there's few other sports that I forget. So I was very sporty person all the time, even though I never really looked like one or like I had a six pack. But I was a very sporty person and I was doing a lot of sports. But I found myself working in a warehouse. And that's quite normal thing to do because you go to the workplace, you do whatever 170 hours a month, 150 hours a month, depending on your contract. And then you get salary. So that looks like a very safe way to go about the life. And that's what I thought. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is actually, I mean, this is the most peace of mind way of going about life because opening a business and following your passion doesn't necessarily mean that you will have a consistent income, that every month will look great, that everything will look like of a fairy tale. To be honest, it's actually quite stressful, but let's not get ahead of ourselves and let's actually talk how to make passion into the business. So when I was working, not across the street, there is a mini plant, and I used to drive a forklift over there. So it's quite funny. When it comes down to using your passion as a business and to generate income and like your livelihood from your passion, it's not as easy and it's not as straightforward as everyone may seem to make it look on the internet. And I need to tell you a bit about story. So my girlfriend was the first one to actually follow her dream. I was working for research development. I was company. I was responsible for all their stores, and my girlfriend wanted to become a tattooist. And there was an opportunity that we basically had to lose quite a bit of household income for her to go and pursue a career as a tattoo artist. So that's what we did initially. Uh, she was an apprentice in a tattoo shop, and I was some working in the warehouse, bringing well, m- most of the necessary income to keep our household going. And I've been lucky enough to witness her following her dreams and actually becoming a tattoo artist. And I think that somehow inspired me because when I was working and the company has changed the name from Charge to Arrival, it was a one of the best companies to work for. But at the same time, I realized that I was getting told off for random things, for stock not arriving on time or not reaching the production, the prototypes on time. And there was a lot of like kind of crisis management. And one day I just got thinking, why the hell am I always annoyed about the things that I cannot control or it's not in my hands? And that naturally led me on to thought process. Could I turn something that I liked into career? Because what popped into my mind, if I'll be pissed off about something, it will be something that I can control. At that time, I didn't realize I can control my mind, how I'm reacting to certain situations, but that's for another video. So I started thinking. I did basketball literally from the sunshine to the till the sun goes down till the sunset. Then I remember in school I played every sport that was offered to me. Like I said, I did Greek Roman wrestling, and just thinking through my life I realized that I used to do sports a lot. So my girlfriend was getting quite successful with the tattooing at that time, and I started thinking that I should probably start personal training as a career. So I started looking at the courses. I left some details on one of the websites. Not long after, someone called me, and basically, a very good salesman took a vulnerable young adult thinking that he needs to change a career and made a sale for personal training course. So I've done that. I've started working on a personal training course and complete that as a career. Now, courses, I mean, my opinion, that's my personal opinion. Personal training courses are a little bit too easy to pass. And I think they should be a little bit harder. And I hope that they are harder from the moment that I passed. I didn't know how much the standard has changed as I completed my course in 2018 or 2017. I can't even remember at this point. And yeah, the course itself was not that hard to pass. And for me personally, the pathway, like career pathway, was quite clear. Get a job in some gym that already pays at least a minimum wage. So that's either David Lloyd's, Nuffield Health, or any other gym that actually pays a wage. So at least you have safe income. So that's what I did. I managed to get a job at Nuffield Health. But that's where the fun begins. I got a job in personal training 1st of February 2020. You know what happened 6 weeks from that, don't you? 6 weeks into my career, we are going into the lockdown. So I started thinking that's probably the start and the end of my personal training career. And I genuinely thought that way. And the events that we're going through later on. So was getting furlough as everyone else, and that was great. And then at some point, Nuffield started redeploying people. So when they called me, like if I could work in a hospital for time being, I said, "Yeah, I'm sitting at home. There's nothing. I don't do anything, so I may just do some work in a hospital because I personally hate sitting in one place and doing nothing. And it was quite boring at home. But then what happened is redundancy started coming in. So I was about to lose my job, but thanks to my colleague at the time, Joe, he decided to switch to go fully self employed and leave Nuffield, which saved my job. And that was great. I really appreciate Joe for that because I don't think I would be here in my personal training studio if it wouldn't be him leaving the job to save minds. And to be honest, he done very well for himself as well. He has his own studio, and yeah, that's amazing. In theory, we are competitors, but I don't compete with anyone in the sense of competition. I just think that as personal trainers, we need to do a better job at making British population healthy. But again, that's for the next video. So that saved my job in Nuffield. So as time went back, like the Nuffield that I really worked never really reopened. So I managed to get a job within another Nuffield, which was internal redeployment, but that doesn't really matter. It's more about that what I did, I finished the courses and I started the career. And there was a lot of like self doubt and questioning myself. Look, I'm an immigrant in UK. I still don't trust my English 100% despite what it looks on camera, but naturally you have all the self doubt considering that you go through a completely different career path than you ever expected to go to. And look, I want to be realistic. Not every career can be made into the business. And the personal training for me as a career, I still cannot believe it because for me, it's a little bit as a joke, like personal training, because I mean, it's frustrating. But this is like a leisure job. It's not a, how to say, like, it's not like healthcare. You're not at the front line, that you're dealing with people's crisis. In a way, we are, because we are helping people to prevent some issues from occurring, like chronic health conditions and things like that. But generally, like, personal training as a job has only occurred because we got to the point in the society where our life is so good that we can sit at home, do the work in front of our laptops, and get overweight from having too much food. And that's like how job like mine occurred. But the idea is that if you have some passion, if you enjoy something a lot, you and you hate sitting in the office, or you hate your job, now the opportunity is the best that is as it will be. Look, you can create websites yourself. You can use tools like ChatGPT to guide you and to help you to create some really good websites. You have plenty of information on YouTube with people like myself creating videos, and there's way better and way more experienced people talking about the business. Few of them is Alex Hormozy, Dan Martell, James Smith has started talking about the business as well, which moved from personal training and online coaching. So there is a lot of people that can help you. Like, there's tools like ChatGPT on YouTube. Information is endless. There is tools like Replit where you can create your apps yourself. There is tools like Shopify, which you can pretty much do drop shipping or sell any products that you can find. So the opportunities are limitless, and the biggest barrier that you need to overcome is in your own head. And even if you have like a business idea now, you don't think it's real, just go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, like, would this business work? Why it can fail? Why it can succeed? What are the things that I need to consider before opening the business? How can I turn my passion into the business? Like, ask those simple questions from ChatGPT, and you will be surprised how much information you will get back. However, one thing that you need to remember is that you don't need information. What you really need is to actually take action and follow your dream. So if you go on ChatGPT and start getting information on how you should open up your business, but then you only read that information and you take absolutely no action about it. In that way, you will not necessarily turn your dream into career. You actually have to take action. You have to create that website. You have to create that Instagram page. You have to start posting about the product or service that you're selling. So you need to start doing something about your dream life. And then by taking action, each action that you will take, you will learn something from it. And then you can stack those learnings one on top of another. And at some point, you will be considering yourself quite successful in life. So the opportunity that you're looking for is here, available now. All you have to do is to put your excuses down, put your insecurities away, and do it. Because the worst that can happen, you will try, you will fail, you'll learn something, and you'll try again. Because there's no harm in trying, apart from maybe a little bit of financial loss and a little bit of crumbling of your ego, but there's nothing you can recover from. So go and start working on your dreams and start taking action. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you will like this one. And let me know down in the comments, what business idea do you have? And maybe I can help you to start working towards that.